Alright, let's have a look on Call of Duty's Instagram for today. What the fuck? What is this? What is that? Oh, let's see what the comments say. Remember when COD used to be taken seriously? Look at those likes, oh my god. This game is a joke. Fix it before GTA or you'll lose 100% of your player base. This is already Fortnite. Yeah, you're damn right it is. Yes, literally a big company, one of the best franchise in realistic shooting games. It seems they're no longer moving forward, they're moving backwards. There's nothing good about it. Recycled content and marijuana packages. Friend, Call of Duty has lost its reputation, and because people still buy these things, the company doesn't care about the content. It's all about money. It doesn't care about the community. Monetizing everything is killing games. Yeah, I agree with you, mate. Bro, why do they add so many freaking weed skins? Call of LGBTQ. Ah, nice trash can, yeah. Keep it military for the love of God. Do some G.I. Joe skins. This and the Ninja Turtles have been a huge eyesore. Is a normal Adler skin too much to ask for? Fortnite already fell off. Let's not do the same card. Nobody asked for this, yeah. Seth Rogen is an amazing actor, but like, why does anyone need him in card? Good point. Some military skins would be better. It's COD. COD is just a smoke studio. Why is every skin a smoker? COD today's Fortnite and drugs. Get back to the basics. And create cool military skins and not this bullshit all day. Yeah, this is what I'm trying to say. I think COD has officially fallen off. Bring back milsim skins. By Adler skin, we mean normal skin. Not a bullshit, normal skin, like from the campaign. Normal. Franchise is forever lost. Ugh. I wish I could go back to old COD where the characters were soldiers. We need to talk about this, don't we? Okay, here we go. Let's have this conversation because I don't think many people are having this conversation outside of Instagram and Twitter comment sections. What's going on, my fellow troops? My name is Xavvo. If you've never seen me before, I'm just a guy who makes Call of Duty content over here. Ignore all this. It's just until we get to 5k. We're actually getting nearer there, so your support will help me take this mask off. But I actually wanted to have this conversation about Call of Duty's identity, and really something I've seen pop up quite a lot is about the whole Call of Duty should return to milsim shooter instead of the cosmetic modern version that we have now. And I thought this would be an interesting discussion for one of these videos because I've never really talked about it. I've never really got into it. I've made the jokes. I've thrown a few punches at it here and there when, you know, reviewing some bundles now and then. And when there's new updates rolling around, I'm like, oh, look at these cringy bundles. We're turning into a Fortnite game. But it is genuinely an interesting conversation worth having because this is something that I think Call of Duty struggles with. Call of Duty over the years has sort of lost its core identity as a milsim shooter. It used to be way back in like 09, I think, all the way up until 2012, I would say, or something like that. It was always a milsim shooter. And then after that, they kind of stopped and they decided to throw in these DLC content and they started to switch it up to add specialists in and giving characters customizable skins and all this sort of stuff started to become a big craze in modern gaming. It was more like, okay, we can make customizable, cool, fancy skins that people can pay for to look better compared to the average player, and it essentially boosted the game's revenue because, yes, it's another place to make money from, and it also enticed the current players, or it enticed other players who'd never played the game before and they just heard about it, that, hey, look, I've got this really cool skin and you can get it in this game, and people are like, oh, I've never seen that game before, that looks really fun, and that skin looks cool, I want to get it. So little things like that obviously have distinguished the game over the years, but now that we're in 2025 and we've been doing this for over a decade, it's not original anymore, and literally every single skin and unnecessary cosmetic bundle, all these sort of things that come into the game, they don't represent Call of Duty because Call of Duty was always a simple milsim military style shooter game, and that was the main thing that enticed so many people back in the day, and that's why Call of Duty was just so popular. Like, there's all these other arguments we can have about skill-based matchmaking, which is absolutely valid. That's definitely stumped the game's player base, and it's definitely made it less enjoyable to the average player. But let's be honest, the whole fact that Call of Duty is no longer really a masculine, catered kind of shooter game anymore, it doesn't appeal to boys and young men and stuff like that. It appeals
girls now to just, I don't even know how to say, androgynous people. Like, it's really not got that shooter milsim military vibe to it anymore. It really doesn't feel like it, and you can't take it seriously. Like, I don't know if it's just me. Whenever I'm looking at Call of Duty, I'm thinking this is just Fortnite, or it's Apex Legends, or it's just any other cringy fucking shooter game designed for children. It looks like some Valorant or Overwatch shit. Like, half the time we're getting stuff in this game that doesn't even coherently fit in with the type of game we're in. Like, not even to the point where you had MW 2019 where it was like, oh, we'll just throw anime in there because that's like a modern thing and we're in the current day 2019. Like, no, we're at a point now where we've got games based in the fucking 90s and we're getting like modern Teletubbies looking creatures dumped into the game. We've got frizzleball fucking fluffy rainbow characters with gummy bears dropping out their ass. I just don't understand the appeal and who's buying half of this shit. Like, I make my fair few bundle reviews, don't get me wrong, but it's mostly for content. Like, it absolutely does not really benefit you, and it's just another cash grab to get you to buy stuff in their game and to play for longer, I guess, just to keep dopamine receptors at an all-time high. And it at the same time, it kills the identity of what this shooter game franchise was all about. Another really interesting thing I've noticed about this fixation on cosmetics and having operators in the game and all these other things, not only has it caused a number of other problems, which I'll also talk about here, but it's also distracted the developers from what really matters, and that is the game. I think we've strayed so far from making a fun game to the point where it's more focused on graphics and visuals and cosmetics, skins, crossovers, and it's just not cutting it. Like, you can see this from the response you're getting from the community. Like, the community just does not care for a lot of these bundles. You can go to the comment sections under an Instagram and it will give you enough of what you need to hear. It's just nobody cares, and it's not appealing. It really isn't. You're not appealing to the audience that you're making your games. Look, I'm gonna just grab a Call of Duty game right now. I'm gonna grab the last one I have on physical copy. Right? Modern Warfare 3. What does that say here? This is rated PEGI 18. You want me to think this is a fucking 18 game? Really? When I've got fucking anime rainbow tracer bullets being pumped into my body, the blood is hardly realistic anyway. I've got fucking goobers running around as Snoop Dogg, or we've got... you had people running around as Godzilla and King Kong about 2-3 years ago. Sorry, what? And now we've got Hufflepuff knockoff Teletubby guys running around. Little coloured brown, pink and green guys. Fluffy guys with googly eyes. And evil bunnies. How is this an 18 game? This is what I don't understand. It just doesn't appeal at all to adults. Calling it an 18... I just think it's honestly laughable, the multiplayer experience being the biggest part of why people buy Call of Duty games, and you're calling this shit an 18? Like, come on. Campaign is one thing, but let's be real. Even the campaign is not really disturbing. They're really not. The last disturbing Call of Duty game we probably had for a campaign was probably MW 2019's campaign because of, I think it was Clean House, right? I think it was Clean House, the one where you go into the house and you have to take the terrorists out. Stuff like that you could consider dark or disturbing, but outside of that, I don't know where this rating is coming from. It's just laughable, especially because the biggest part of the game is an absolute shambles, and it's all just a clown fest, like Nicki Minaj running around, planting her ass onto your face as a finisher move. Maybe that's 18. Okay. Honestly, yeah, that's one thing. I honestly think, yeah, like, sure, they have the departments for these things, and they've definitely developed as a company, you know, these developers. They've grown since 10, 15 years ago. Like, obviously now they have way more facilities to function on games, and facilities to work on cosmetics, and facilities to establish crossovers and legal stuff. They have everything, right? But it just isn't summing up. And the simple reason is players don't want this stuff. The more your game displays and brands itself as something that cannot be taken seriously, it brands itself as a children's game, where's the appeal for average, everyday teenagers and adults. It's the same thing that happened with Fortnite. Fortnite at the very beginning was very much like a teenager and young adult kind of game, if you remember that early into the game, because I was one of those players. And then when it started to kick off into like the rest of chapter 1 and then into chapter 2, the game was no longer played averagely by adults or teenagers. It was played by young children. And it's just simple. Like, if you brand your game in a way that doesn't appeal to the people it was originally appealing to, you're going to lose those people. It's just simple. And I don't really care if you're one of those adults saying, but I like it. I'm 26 and I play Call of Duty and love these goofy skins. Okay, bro. Okay, I don't care. This doesn't defeat the rule. You're the exception. The average player does not want to play this goofy ass shit or doesn't want to buy it and would actually be happy if you got rid of it. But here's the other problem I was going to bring up, and this will be probably the last problem that I'll bring up in terms of this discussion. One of the other problems it's brought into the game is obviously cosmetics are a byproduct of having operators in the game, and operators are a problem in themselves. This is another thing I've never really spoken about, but the operators over just, you know, individual characters or specialists and stuff we had before, this system, the reason this doesn't work is because, one, the more you add into the game, people have got too much choice. They're overwhelmed with choice, which is one thing. Second, because you have all these characters with all these different skins, there is numerous different types of skins that could either blend in versus stand out. And you're basically now having to sift through a fucking meta, a secret meta in itself, as to which skin is going to be the most hidden on this map, this map, this map. And it's just stupid. It's absolutely stupid. And the other problem that we have with operators, that they exist in the first place, is we have quips. Quips should not exist in the game. I absolutely despise them. Literally, you've got the most stupid fucking call-outs that come out of nowhere. You're about to throw a grenade. Like, why does your character shout, "I'm throwing a grenade"? The fucking enemy's gonna run the fuck out of there. Why would you shout that? Or shout, "I'm reloading"? That's like saying, "Ouch, I'm down, come and get me." But there you go. So quips, I think quips are fucking stupid, but we wouldn't have quips if we didn't have operators, which, if we didn't have operators, we also wouldn't have all these goofy cosmetics, would we? We'd be a milsim Call of Duty still. It's all just kind of a domino effect. I really just think, ever since they changed the game from a milsim shooter, we've seen that the game is less focused on delivering a solid, addictive game that can keep everybody universally engaged with just the milsim shooter sort of serious approach. Instead, we've now got that they're just so distracted on making money from crossovers and losing their identity by copying other shooter games that are designed for children. Call of Duty was never designed for children. Evidently, I mean, it says 18. It was never designed to be like Overwatch. It's Call of Duty. Like, why is it trying to be something it's not? I don't get it. If it just tried to be its own thing, I genuinely think this would be a huge difference in how many people are playing the games each year and how many people are sticking around. It's just pushing people away, and you notice this because when does most of the player counts drop? After the first 2 months. When does most of the goofy crossovers and gay shit come into the game? Oh wait, yeah, it's into season 1, 2, and 3 and onwards, which is also a few months into the game. It definitely has an indirect kind of effect, but people don't really like to talk about it. Yes, we've talked about skill-based matchmaking enough on this channel, but I think this is definitely a huge problem. It just makes the game look dumb. I don't even want to play half of the time when I know I'm going to run into a sweatfest lobby full of Nicki Minaj's and Snoop Dogg's ranked play sweats running around with goofy goggles on and other weird shit. I just don't care for it, honestly. But anyway, that's my little rant over about cosmetics and the milsim Call of Duty days. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment if you want to help with the algorithm. I would be interested to hear what you have to say about this subject. But other than that, thank you once again, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye, guys.